All right, so welcome to Team Forever Strong weekly team call. It is October 25th. There are 6 days left in the month, guys. So still plenty of time to help 3 people get started on their health and fitness journey. So that way that you can lock in Success Club. Remember, that is really the indicator of whether or not you're actually building your business or not and moving the needle forward. And yes, this does tend to be a bit more challenging this time of year. You're going to get a lot more no's. I'm getting a lot more no's too. But you have to remember that you can't take it personal, that people will come back to you. You're planting seeds, and come the new year, in a couple more months, they will come back to you. You're still able to help 3 people. It's just that during these next couple of months, you have to kind of up your game a little bit. So if you're used to talking to like 7 people a day or 10 people a day, you might need to kick it up a notch to more like 15 a day, okay? So just kind of pencil that into your trackers as you're working, so that way you know that it's not going to be your typical numbers. And then some months during the year, guys, like January, you don't need to do 10 invites. You might only need to do like 5 a day. So it's kind of different, but this is the time of year where you definitely need to kind of up the game a little bit more. Couple of announcements before I dive into Power Pockets. I think this is going to be a really helpful call for the team and for you guys. But we have our sneak peek happening right now. We've changed how we do it. We do it twice a month now, 3-day coach sneak peeks. And it started today, and it will be today, tomorrow, and Saturday. It's just one live video in the group those 3 days. Make sure you get people in there so they can learn about the business, just be a fly on the wall, and see if this is something that they want to do or not. So it's just a simple invite message that you should be sending to people. You should be talking to people about the business every single day and inviting people to learn more about this every single day, whether it's 2 people, 1 person, 5 people, whatever your goal is for you. You never want to let a day go by where you're not at least inviting for people to learn about this. There's no strings attached, and you guys don't need to do any of the work. It's all done for you. So we have that. Let's see here. Oh, and then we have, this is what I'm really excited about. So we have our diamond training, guys, kicking off on Monday. And I'm really pumped up for this one because I'm running it in combination with Kelsey Smith. And I've talked a little bit about her. If you don't know who she is, you should definitely follow her. She's an incredible leader in the company. She's popping diamonds left and right on her team. They've already locked in Elite as a team. They're just doing absolutely amazing things, and she's got the energy, and she's got the fire, and she's got the drive, and so we're a good match together. So we're going to be running it together with the help of a couple of our leaders from both of our teams. But we have some really special guests that are going to be popping up in the group. There's 3 special guests that are going to be coming in on Sunday nights to be able to bring the motivation to you guys and inspire you guys and just give you guys some awesome words of wisdom. So you definitely don't want to miss out on this opportunity, especially this time of year, guys, where you tend to get sometimes discouraged and you really feel like you might want to withdraw and pull back. You know, you can let those doubts creep in and be like, oh, you know what? I'm just getting tons of no's. I just don't have the time for this. I'm busy, yada, yada, yada. If you have some goal at least that you're shooting for and you're doing it with other people on the team, I know so many of you have formed relationships and friendships with each other. It makes it so much more fun and so much more exciting for everybody. So we've put this 4-week diamond push into play specifically to help both of our teams end the year with a lot of energy, with a vision with where you're going, instead of just dying out and letting yourself just end the year like, oh, that sucked. I hope next year's better. You know what I mean? We wanted to end it strong for you guys and help you guys do that. We know what it takes to get there. We know how to motivate and inspire. And diamond is really just a decision. So even if you've tried one of these diamond push groups before and you didn't meet the goal, it's totally okay. Hop in and do it anyways. We're going to be, check the post on the page if you haven't already. Just complete the application. I updated the link of how to send the $20 over to us, and the deadline to join is going to be Sunday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time, where we're going to be kicking off. We're going in there Sunday. We're going to be starting in there Sunday and then all in as of Monday. So you definitely don't want to miss out on this opportunity. If you are here to build a business, you've got to just get to this point. If you've been doing this for a while and it hasn't happened yet, because it really should be a 90-day goal of when you became a coach. So if you haven't reached it yet, it's literally because you've formed a mental block in your mind. Like you're literally the only thing standing in your way. And so we're here to help you guys just get back on track. It's totally okay. Go all in, commit to yourself, commit to the business, commit that you're gonna, if you decide to complete this application and you pay the $20, now you've got some skin in the game. Just commit to being in the group from front to back. Like really make that commitment to yourself, and you'll be really surprised with the things that can happen for you and in your business, and with the amount of people that you can help over that 4-week period. So I'm super pumped about that. Me and Kelsey talked on the phone today for like an hour. We ironed out all of the fine details about it. So let your team know, even if that means you only have one person on your team, even if that person just signed up today. It doesn't matter. Kelsey and I were just talking today. We've had tons of people on our teams achieve Diamond super quick. 11 days, 17 days, 20 days, all different ranges. It can happen for you guys too. They're not any different than you. You guys can do the same thing. You just have to make the decision, like, I'm going for it. This time it's happening, and I'm going all in. So that's Monday. All right, so I wanted to talk to you guys tonight about Power Pockets, because especially this time of year where things start to get a little bit busy. Things start to get busy right now this time of year. Especially if you're juggling different things around. You might be a mom, maybe you have another full-time job, maybe you have the fur babies, maybe you just had a baby. You have all these different things going on, and it's going to make your life so much easier if you can just focus on Power Pockets throughout your day to build your business. A lot of us don't have a power hour where we can sit down uninterrupted and do that. So the goal of Power Pockets is to at least get you moving and taking action in the right direction. And that's really the goal of it, especially as we're approaching the holidays and it gets super busy. We want to still remain consistent. We want to have a really good plan in place. You really want to know when you're going to be working the business. And it might not be the same times that you were working typically earlier in the year, but that's okay. That's the beauty of having your own business. You're still going to choose to show up and be consistent, because it's consistency over time with this that's going to win and get you ahead of anybody else in this business, okay? So I want you guys to really just kind of get the idea of Power Pockets in your mind, whether it's a power of 15, like for 15 minutes, a power of 20, a power of 10, whatever that looks like for you. And I want you to get that in your mind, and I want you to then focus on going all in. And what I mean when I say all in is like not totally kill yourself, but I mean go all in when you go to sit down to work and do your power hour or Power Pockets, whatever it is for you, looks different for all of us, that you are totally focused doing the right activities for your business during that time, being extremely laser focused. When I kind of strip it down and I look at the things that you should be doing during your Power Pockets, the things that are actually going to build your business, it pretty much comes down to 3 things. It comes down to you having conversations with people, with you connecting to new people, so building new relationships, you consistently every day inviting people and following up with people. And when I'm saying inviting people, I make sure to cover inviting people to the support and accountability group that we run, and inviting people to learn about the business. And it might be a different amount for you than it is for me, than it is for somebody else. And it doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong way, but it's really those 3 key components, okay? Where you're talking about doing those actions every single day. Sometimes we can get super overwhelmed, right? Life can get really busy. You become a coach, you're added to all these different groups, right? You have all these notifications coming up. There's all these different calls coming up, and it can be really easy to just get really overwhelmed, and then almost it's like you go into like a paralysis, right? Where it's like you don't even know where to begin. I don't even know how to invite. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know who to even connect with or who to build relationships with. So that's why sometimes inviting can get a little bit scary, because you're thinking almost about like the big whole picture all at once, the whole thing, and it just seems like way too overwhelming for you, okay? And then what happens is you start to think and you start to remember that myself, or in the trainings that we've told you to invite, make sure that you're inviting. But sometimes, and most of the time actually, inviting can be really scary to people, right? Just, what does that mean? Like, I'm inviting people, I have to send somebody a message, like I have to actually invite them to do this with me. And it can be like, oh my gosh, this is so scary. And you can actually talk yourself out of it and avoid doing it and be like, you know what, I think I need to actually listen to that replay from the team call last week. Yeah, I never listened to that one. Or let me just listen to the National Wake Up Call. I haven't done that yet either. I'm supposed to do that every Monday morning. Or let me just, like, you know what, I need to do this other training right now. And you distract yourself and you do these other things when really that's the one thing that's going to build your business. You know, listening to the trainings, that's awesome. Being in a training is awesome, but none of that's actually going to be the thing that builds your business, right? It's going to be you taking those action steps every single day, which is inviting. This is where you start to get distracted and start to scroll Facebook, right? A lot of times, like, I'm scrolling, and then you feel like you worked all this time, but you really didn't work all this time because you spent it scrolling or checking all the other groups or following all these other coaches on Instagram and checking their stories. And that can suck up a lot of time, okay? So your power pockets of time, guys, should be you taking action, talking to people about health, fitness, nutrition, and the business. That's it. Those 4 things. That's what your power pockets should consist of. So if you have worked this business today and you did not have any conversations, direct conversations with anybody, then you didn't really work the business, okay? The only way that you're going to hit Success Club, the only way that you're going to build your business and get people to join you is if you actually reach out to people and invite them to be a part of this with you. That's the only way. And I know it's easy to sit back and kind of just let things happen. It's really easy to kind of just sit back and let things happen and hope and pray that maybe somebody votes on the poll that we put on Instagram stories, or, you know, puts the little emoji like underneath the comments and we're asking who wants to join us. It's really easy to kind of sit back and hope and pray and, you know, wait for somebody to do that. But that's really not how this business works. And it really doesn't work like that for a long time. Even me, guys, 4.5 years in, I still have to invite and follow up. And I'm in the trenches doing the exact same things that new coaches do, except on a different level now because I'm 4.5 years in, right? So having these power pockets can help you be super laser focused and intentional. I mean, that's really the key to it, is being intentional and being really laser focused. So the first thing that we need to do, I'm going to go over a couple of different things here. The first thing that you're going to need to do, if you haven't already, is to get specific with what your Beachbody business hours are. Like, for real, when are you working this business Monday through Sunday? When are you working it? When do you open? When do you close? It doesn't matter if it's, and some of you, it might be multiple times throughout the day. It might be 10 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 30 minutes here, 15 minutes here. I mean, it's okay. There's no right or wrong way to do it, but write it down. When do you open and when do you close? Just like any other business in the world, okay? This is such an important step, guys, to have. It's such an important step to have, especially, like I said at the beginning, if you're someone who is juggling a lot of different things right now. It's seriously so vital that you share this with your family, that you share it with your spouse, people who are around you, family and friends who are, like, especially the ones who are living with you. They need to know what those business hours are, when they can expect you to be working, when they can expect you to not, when you're going to be spending family time, or when you're with the kids, or when you're having date night. And that's how you treat this business like a business. Okay, so if you haven't had that piece squared away, get it squared away, and then hold yourself accountable. You know, just reach out to another buddy on the team or myself and be like, hey, this is my schedule. This is when I'm going to be working. Just wanted to let you know so I can hold myself accountable. But I have my business hours. This is when I'm open. This is when I'm closed. And then, guys, when the time is done, you have to be okay and be at peace that you got done as much as you could do during that time until the next day when you're open for business again. You cannot try to do this 24/7. All right? And like I said, you might have multiple different windows. For me, I have 2 big windows that I work on it, okay? But before I didn't. I used to have many little windows and then a big chunk at night. And it's going to change for you. It's going to be different for all of us, and no one way is better. No one's right or wrong. There's really no right or wrong way to do it, as long as you at least know what the times are and you're focused during that time, okay? You cannot work this business on accident. So I just want to say that again. You can't work this business on accident. You can't work it thinking that you'll be able to fit it in, and you'll be able to fit in inviting, and you'll be able to fit in following up. You can't work this business when you think you're going to have the time for it. It won't work. And then your family and no one else is honestly really going to take you seriously, because you're going to kind of be all over the place. All right. So get those times down, write them down, get yourself a calendar, and schedule the times literally into the calendar. Like I have my huge calendar here on my desk. I literally have in when I have calls, when I have one-on-one calls with new coaches, when I have mentorship calls with leaders on the team, when I have the team coach calls, when I'm going to be listening to the National Wake Up. I mean, all these different things are penciled in, okay? So you need to do the exact same thing for yourself in your business with whatever that looks like for you. Schedule in the power hour or the power pockets, okay? So that's step one, making sure that you have that done, right? It's just like any other business that's out there, they have business hours. Remember, this is a business. Even though the investment, guys, was so freaking cheap, that's why a lot of people don't take this seriously and treat it like a business, because it only costed you $160. Or back in the day, like when I signed up, $140. And you can't really imagine that that can turn into a 6 or 7 figure income earning business. But if you took out a $500,000 loan to run your own business, you bet your ass that you would be there every single day doing the right things. And a lot of times you can't even earn money right off the bat, right? It takes you multiple years. With this, the cost is so low. But I can promise you, if you at least treat it like a business and do the work, you will be rewarded by helping people and earning the income that you hope to achieve down the road, right? It doesn't happen overnight. We all know that. All right, the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about is when are you going to do your power pockets of time now, right? When are you going to actually fit these things in? When is the most optimal time for you where you can sit down and focus in a power 20 minutes, in a power 30 minutes, in a power 45, with no distractions? Like, no distractions. That is the key, guys. And as you kind of figure this out over the next day, I really would love if you guys could actually share in the team page, like what your business hour schedule is going to look like. I really want you guys to start thinking like business people, like entrepreneurs, and I want you guys to share that with the team. I think it will help hold you more accountable. It'll help keep you more on track, and it will also help encourage other people, like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to have business hours. Okay, it might be that one thing that kind of triggers that little light in your mind. Okay, so I'd love to hear that. So where are you going to do these power pockets now? This is like critical, like for real. This can make or break everything for you. Now, at the beginning, when I first started this business, I didn't have like this really nice, big, huge office like this. I did have an office, but it was like just smaller. It was upstairs. And I didn't want to be up there because the kids' bedrooms were right there. And I basically just sat at my kitchen island back in Massachusetts on the edge of my bar stool, right up against it with my laptop open. I had every single light on. The kids were not awake. They were in bed. I literally would sit on the edge of my seat, and my knees would hit the counter in the front, and I literally have dents on the front of my knees from sitting for 1.5 years on the edge of my seat, just like so eager to get to work. Where are you doing your work? Someplace where there is absolutely no interruptions. And I want you to really just kind of think about the environment that you're working in. This makes a huge difference, guys. A really, really, really big difference. Think about your environment. You know, it really will benefit you if you're in a closed room. A closed room. Honestly, if you're out and about and you're sitting in an open area and there's people walking around freely, you're going to be distracted. Like, I'm thinking about when my husband works from home every single day, and he like tries to do work in the kitchen. I don't know why, but he's constantly distracted because like he's sitting in the kitchen and I'm walking by and I'm like, hey, look, Like, it just totally breaks your flow, right? If you're sitting in an open area and people are walking around you all the time, I mean, you can't help but notice them. You can't help but look and see what they're doing. Oh, what's that person getting to eat? Oh, maybe I'm hungry now. Then they might ask you a question. It's just really distracting. So if you don't have a closed off space that you could go to, I don't know, get creative with it. Go into a closet, go into a bathroom, I don't know, go to a garage, in your garage, go wherever you can go so that you won't get disturbed. That's the whole point, is that you're not getting disturbed. And you shouldn't get disturbed, because if you've already set your business time and you've let your spouse and family know, they should be leaving you alone during that time. Okay? Is it going to be a coffee shop maybe? And then if you're in a coffee shop, how are you going to keep yourself really focused? Are you going to wear headphones? Are you going to put sunglasses on so nobody makes eye contact with you and you don't have to talk to them? And really, you have to think about these things. So sitting in like the open area really is not going to work, and it's going to get you off track, and it's going to make your power pockets or power hour really, really unproductive. And that's not what we want, because then it's going to be like a waste of time, right? You don't want that to happen. So you have to be somewhere where you are laser focused. And a really good tip, guys, too, is when you sit down to work, you see this little lovely thing right here that nobody had back in the day? Yes, turn it on airplane mode, shut the thing off, like let it be, because I know how it is when you're sitting down trying to work and it's like, it's like, oh, who's that? Oh my God, did somebody write back? You know what I mean? And then it's like somebody else. It's like your family member and there's more drama or whatever it is. Shut that thing off, right? Put it on like airplane mode, shut it off, so that you can stay really focused and you're not distracted by notifications coming in, okay? You can do the same thing on your computer too. You can turn it on like do not disturb so that you're not getting the notifications and you're being disturbed by it, okay? So somewhere in a closed room is best. And I'd love to hear if you guys could just comment in the chat right now, like where you typically do your work. I'm just curious, and it might change throughout the day. Like some of you might do some of your power pockets in the car when you're waiting for your kids, or if you're on a long drive. I mean, I do that all the time. I'm always working in the car. My husband will drive everywhere and I'll just work everywhere. Might be the car, might be in your office, maybe it's in your kitchen after the kids go to bed. I mean, I just would like to hear where you guys are doing your thing. My office, the car, or my bedroom. Put me right to sleep. No, I have a desk in my bedroom too. That's great. Yeah, just make sure it's nice and distraction free. And then something else that can really help you guys too during your power pockets when you're working on them is to actually set a timer. Use a timer. Okay, a timer has been really helpful for like a lot of people. And like I said, the main things that you should be doing are spending your time like not checking Team Forever Strong, right? Like if you have 15 minutes, should not be checking Team Forever Strong. It should not be in the challenge groups. It should not be talking to another coach. It should not be scrolling Facebook. It should not be any of that. It should be you connecting with people in private messages, inviting, and doing follow-ups. Those three things. But if you can set a timer, like, all right, I have 15 minutes right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 10 minutes right now. I'm going to spend 10 minutes right now inviting people. And the time buzzer is going to go off. All right, for the last 5 minutes, I'm going to spend it just connecting with people. Later on tonight, when I have another 20 minutes or whatever it is for you, I'm going to spend my time following up. And then if you have more time, don't like goof off, right? Just keep repeating those three activities, right? The connecting, inviting, following up, adding new to your network, that kind of thing. Those are the things that really make a difference. And then as you're sitting down to work too, you also have to think, so do I work better, right, if there's music or no music? Now, for me, and it's different for everybody, but for me, I like working to music. It just makes me get energized. I make my energized, guys, at night, 9 o'clock at night, have my energized. When this call is over, I will go to my playlist. I'll put on the music that pumps me up and gets me fired up, and I'll listen to it while I work. And I literally could do this all night long because I just get sucked in and I'm really laser focused on the things that I need to do. And I work off of my list, and then I just go. So think about that to yourself. Like, do you need to be in just peace and quiet? Maybe you need to get those like earphone things like that blocks out all the noise so you can't hear anything and you can just stay focused. Maybe that's what you need to do. Remember, that's one of the things about, being an entrepreneur is that you don't have a boss that's going to be like, okay, hey, So Jackie, now I need you to sit down from 9 to 9:20 and I need you to invite. Did you do it? Now from like, no one's going to do that, right? You know what you need to do, but you have to be the one that takes ownership and actually does those things, okay? So just set your environment up for success. That's the best piece of advice that I can give you in terms of that when you sit down to actually work your power pockets, okay? The next piece of advice I'm going to give you is to make sure that you're actually tracking all of this. So now you're sitting down, you're doing your work, right? You're connecting with people, you're inviting people to learn about the business. You're doing this every day. You're inviting people to learn to, you know, do you want to be a part of our online support and accountability group? Would you like to hear more about it? You're doing that, and then you're following up and you're doing those things. Are you tracking these names of these people who you're talking to? You have to be constantly working off of a list and tracking people. Just like any other business, like you've got to track the things that are happening in it so that you can help your business move forward, right? So how are you tracking? And there's really no right or wrong way for this either, guys. You have to do what works for you. You know, are you someone who just likes to use notebook and pen like I did for the longest time up until 6 months ago? It's okay, you can do that too. Are you someone who needs like pretty like spreadsheets made? Do you like to do Excel? Are you like, what is like your way of tracking that works for you that's going to keep you organized and on track? And do it. Is it going to be the tracker that I gave to you guys? And if you need it, I can give you that too if you're not one of my coaches. Whatever it is, and just make sure that you have it out and that you do it. There's no right or wrong way. I literally built this business like all the way up to 6 figures on notebooks, notes everywhere, multiple notebooks, until 6 months ago where I got way more organized with it and did something totally different, okay? So track that. And now on top of that, you just need to master how to work on your Power Hour pocket. So that way you can duplicate this. See, this is the most important thing. You always need to ask yourself, even if you are a new coach, even if you've been doing this for a long time, it doesn't matter. You always have to ask yourself, all right, like, can I teach this to someone on my team? If I have a coach on my team and they did what I was doing, would they be successful? If somebody did what I did, would they have success? And like, sometimes it's a really good reality check to kind of ask yourself the same question. All right, like if people did what I did, would they build a successful business? And sometimes it takes you kind of looking in the mirror and being like, no, probably not, right? I need to get a little bit more laser focused here and start doing the right income producing activities here. So your answer should always be yes. If somebody did exactly what I did, they could come on and they can build a kick-ass business. They could sign people up, they could change lives, they could earn an income, they could go all the way to the top if they wanted to and earn 6 figures. Yes, no doubt, if they actually did the things that I was doing, okay? So you wanna make sure that you master what you're doing during these power pockets so that way you also build your confidence up. The fear of inviting goes away the more inviting that you do. So that's really the only way that you're gonna get over that fear of inviting, is that when you sit down during these power pockets of time and actually send messages to people. The more you do it, the more confident you get, the more confident you become, and then the more people that you can help. But you have to go out there and talk to people and invite people. And you've got to be okay with getting the no's, guys. You've got to be okay with hearing no, not right now. You've got to be looking so far into the vision, into the future of what this is going to do for you, and really understanding that this takes time for people, that people are not ready to join you sometimes when you ask them, and they will be ready because they all come around. And it might take a month, it might take 3 years, like it has for a lot of people who have joined me. It might take 4 years, it might be just next week. You just never know. So when people tell you no, it's all right. You just say, hey, all right, no worries, totally get it. Would you like me to reach back out to you next month when our group is kicking off our next support and accountability group? And it doesn't matter what they say, you still remain a friend to these people. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. They do the invites, they get the no, and they're like, next person, right? They don't spend the time building the real relationships with people. And that's really what this business is. Like, people have to trust you. They want to know that you're just not in it for the sale, that you're just not in it to get Success Club points. They want to know that you're here because you really just genuinely care about people. And that's why I always tell people in my coach sneak peeks when they're learning about this, Like, yeah, people are buying things, right? You're selling things. But if you don't genuinely care about helping other people, and you're not going to be willing to go the distance with this, because you're just going to get aggravated when people don't sign up with you, okay? You have to be a friend and remain a friend no matter what, and have that patience piece, right? Anybody that's built any kind of business in the world knows that they're not going to get to where they want to be in 3 months and in 6 months and in a year, that it's going to take time. So that's why, if you can really just, this last part of the year especially, guys, like, that's why I'm glad that you guys are on the call, because it shows your dedication. It shows that you're serious. That's half the battle in this business, is just showing up, right? Just showing up, especially onto these team calls, right? Showing up. And if you can just carve out for these last few months of the year when you're going to work on it, and just like really be focused during that time and be consistent. It really is how consistent you are with these things over time that's going to dictate your success with this business. And as much as you might be like in the cold, dreary weather, if you're living somewhere cold right now, because I remember what that was like, and feeling like blah, and it's like everything's cold and like just ugly looking, and people are telling me no, it's very easy to let your mind tell you that it is okay to stop. But I'm telling you right now that if you are here and you're a coach, that's not okay. Because our job is not to just come in and out of people's lives. People are literally following you and watching you. And if they see you, and especially your team, if they see you showing up and doing the things, and then all of a sudden, like, you're not there, you're not sharing on social media, you're not sharing on your stories, you've stopped signing up people, your names aren't on the leaderboard, people notice that. And they start to wonder, like, what the heck is going on, right? So you've got to just remain consistent with those things and just allow yourself some grace, right? I'm telling you right now, guys, that this is a challenging time of year. It's okay. But it's also the best time of year to be a coach, because if you are one of those coaches who chooses to, be realistic within, pencils in your power pockets and stays focused and invites and signs people up, and even if you hit Success Club 5 and only sign up 3 people, that's okay. If you are one of the coaches that does that, come January, your business is going to blow up for you. Because even though you didn't do quite the things that you wanted to do and had hoped to do, you still did it. You still did the best you can, right? And if you go to bed every night and you know that, hey, you know what? I only could do 20 minutes today of my power pocket. But during that 20 minutes, I made sure I connected with 5 people. I made sure I invited 7 people, and I did some follow-ups. That was the best I could do today. You can at least go to bed knowing that you did the right income-producing activities. I think that's the key thing that some people miss, is the income-producing activities. It's really only those 3 things. So I know it's fun to scroll. I know it's fun to, to stalk other people's, stories, and you can get sucked into one after the next, but guess what, guys? That's not going to get you a paycheck on Thursday. Okay? So it's just block it out. And you know what? If you want that to be like your reward, I tell a lot of my coaches, like, hey, do the thing, do the work, do those things first. Then once you've accomplished those things, then you can be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to spend the next 15 minutes just scrolling Instagram if I want to, because I did like my work for the day. That's really all that matters. So stay consistent with it. Like I said, if you guys can put together like your business hours and just share it in the team page, like, I know it's going to change from week to week, but if you could just put in there like what it's going to look like for the next 7 days, and just be like, hey, we just had a team call on, power pockets and how to stay laser focused. And these are my business hours. I wanted to share with you guys so that I'm holding myself accountable. And if you don't have business hours, you should do it too. And just kind of share it. You can just pencil it in. It doesn't need to be fancy. You don't need to do anything cute and pretty. It could just be written on a piece of notebook paper. Like, take a screenshot of it and just upload it to the team page, because that's really the driving force. It's not sitting down and doing 10 hours at once or like 7 hours at once. It doesn't take any kind of, it's not that, it's consistency over time. The person who shows up for an hour a day, even if it's broken up, is going to be way ahead of the person who just does this on Saturdays and Sundays, or who just does this from Monday through Thursday and takes off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You just can't do that. especially at first in a business when you're trying to establish a foundation for yourself. So I hope this call helped you guys. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. Does anybody have any questions on Power Pockets, or like maybe struggles that you're having with getting it in, or exactly what to do during it, or anything that I can help you with in that area at all? Good to go? All right, cool. All right, guys. I will be here. If you have any questions or need any help, just let me know, and I will see you the next time. Bye, guys.